See, good stuff.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show, Nail the Sale podcast. And I have Taylor OHaire with me. You guys really, you already know him as of now if you watch me and if you're following me. He's like one of my good friends. We used to speak on the text message, and now finally, I was actually following him. I enrolled to his, subscribed to his email list as well, and I was enjoying his content too. So we finally thought to do this episode so you guys can learn what he's actually doing as well. This podcast episode is not going to be just an episode. It's going to be a master class for yourself. So you can master your mind and you can set more. He's like one of the appointment setting coach as well and training other teams too. Hey, Taylor, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, I mean, so if we're going back as far as like appointment settings, so it all started for me back in 2021. I knew about the high ticket space through Dan Locke. That was the first, I guess, instance where
Yeah, that's
I
right.
found out about this whole industry, and that was a thing where you could make a percentage of like a big sale. Like I never even considered that. So, I came from like it was like a B2B low ticket advertising role that I was selling at the time, but I didn't want to be asking when I'm having my holidays or not being
Yeah,
full. They always say uncapped commission, but the truth is every role is capped. But mine
that's
was
true.
seriously capped. I could only make like 50, 60K a year. So I was just like, right, I need to find something different. I
Yeah,
transitioned online, and then I started, of course, working with Sales Sniper, Jeremy Miner. That was like my main chunk of experience doing DM setting, outbound setting as well. And
awesome.
through there, I produced 1.3 million cash, like
Ooh,
just over a year. And my best ever month was 250K cash collected. I think it was May, and I won a few awards with the company, broke some records for Facebook as well. And then yeah, from there, like it just expanded. The more I was posting about my experience, skill set tips that worked for me.
hmm,
I did a phone setting role then for Pompa Program, which is a huge health-based company as well.
that's right. Yeah,
And I think yeah, just the more I posted, I think the more I realized, well, I probably need to just do this as like my own thing. So
yeah.
after leaving my most recent closing role of 7 months, I just thought, right, I'm gonna give this a go, and now I'm coaching a few different offers,
Hmm.
and some guys. So it's that's really been the journey, I guess you could say overall,
That's
with what I've been
awesome.
doing with setting.
Yeah, Taylor, that's really amazing. I remember the days when high ticket sales were actually becoming a new thing in COVID, right? And everybody, like mostly a lot of people transitioned then. Like I'm talking about the killer closers and setters, right? They transitioned in back in when COVID hit. So tell me like your early life before sales. What you were doing and how you transition into
Yeah.
sales.
Before sales, so I actually I actually went into an accountancy role. So I was working towards becoming an accountant, and I was in a role as an assistant for like 6 months, and I just remember doing it. I did it because my friend was like really into it, and he's now like going to be qualified. He's going to make quite a bit of money. So I thought I'd want to do the same thing, but I realized being 6 months in that role, first of all, I wasn't really good at it. It didn't really make sense to me. Second thing is I wasn't happy with it, and I just hated the corporate atmosphere, like dealing with just difficult people in general. I really struggled with that, and to be honest, I should have been fired, but I wasn't. I managed to leave before I was fired, so that was good.
Yeah,
But then I just thought, like, having a look at, like, I was obsessed with Dan Locke at the time. Always like loved
yeah,
his content about mindset. He had some really good stuff that really helped me. And there was one thing he said that, if you want to have a successful business, which is what I wanted, then you have to be good at sales. That's a skill you have to learn. So I was like, right, okay, well, even though like I'm scared of doing sales, I don't really want to do it. I didn't think I'd ever be able to sell. I'll just give it a go anyway. And so what I managed to do is have a look at a door-to-door sales role that was advertised in my local area. I just thought I'd go. It was
yeah.
like a
That's what I
management training
started with
program.
too.
Yeah, and it was a heck of a start. Like I was there for about a year and a half. I did cold calling as well as door to door because when we did door to door, COVID hit. We all got shut down. Had to just get on the phones basically very very
Yeah,
quickly. That was very very difficult. But I just found I was very good over the phone compared
yeah,
to doing door to door as well. And from there, I just learned a bunch about myself, who I am. Can I really do this? Like pushing my limits. I wouldn't make very much money. It was like 0% commission, 20, £25 per sale. And like I was not paid for any extra training that I was doing, recruitment, leadership.
Yeah.
I was not paid for any of that. So for me, it was just a whole personal development journey that I had within that nearly 2 year spell, going across two different cities. So that's life before high ticket sales, really. But that's led to me being where I am now. Without that experience, there's no way that I would be at the levels that I'm at now. I've still got more to do, of course, but it has helped a hell of a lot.
How do you feel now?
Yeah, just like obviously like good about things really as far as progression. Like there's good feedback from the market. People in general about what I'm doing. So like it's always nice to hear that, like positive affirmations. But at the same time, there's always levels to improving, to doing better things for other people. So I'm just learning a lot more about myself in the process.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, I was even thinking about myself. Um, I remember making $500 a month, and I remember making $1,000 a month, and even more, right? And at this point, when I get like good commission in my bank, it always feels the same, right? At this point, and we still feel like we want to do more. And I'm seeing at your brand actually, you are training people making 7, 8K, even 10K as an appointment setter. I saw the post the other day. So do you think like there is a potential an appointment setter can make $10,000 a month?
$10,000 a month? Yeah, absolutely. Like first, I mean, there's lots of facets that relate to that goal. So I'm not the type of person that's always focusing on right, this one thing will get you there. It's a
Yeah, yeah,
multitude of things. It's working on yourself is massively important. Obviously your skill set is a big thing. People talk about it all over. Being able to have a solid brand, reputation, relationship
absolutely.
building, networking, like all of those things holistically is what will help you to like land the best roles, and
Yeah,
then as you have the skill set, then actually performing in those roles, right?
that's right.
So I think, yeah, 100% it is possible. And there's been setters. I mean, the most I've made as a setter is literally around 10K, and there are setters that have made more than I have. There are setters that have performed better than I have. So like, I'm not here to say that I am the best trainer. Like at the end of the day, I
Right,
don't know. Like I
that's
just
right.
hope that every individual that I work with, they get a lot of impact and help. And then from there, of course, people make their own assumptions about how they feel about
Absolutely.
me. And I don't self-proclaim who I am. The market
No,
tells
I am
me
a
who I
fan.
am. It's the best
I am a
feedback.
fan already. So I don't
Oh no
need
no no no
to
no
think
no.
about other people, what they
Uh,
do or how
uh,
do they think. Like, because since the day I'm following you, I started loving your content. Then I enrolled for your email list. I got those golden nuggets. I was setting and closing for a role myself. I applied some of the stuff in my setting role as well. So because I was setting and closing, still doing that, right? Applied some stuff over there as well, and they're helpful. I'm sure a lot of people who like you must have the clients who are actually working with you. They are getting benefits of that as well. And if somebody is actually looking to scale as a appointment center, because a lot of people over there, Taylor, they're not very comfortable coming on the camera and close, right? So appointment setting is something they can actually learn how to adopt that script and make it their own, right? Their own voice and how to say things and how to talk. And even they're laying on the bed, right? And they're talking, picking up the phone and talking to people and setting and making like an average appointment setter is making between $2,000 to $3,000 per month, right? A good on a good roll. So, how would you think? Like, I know one expect like there are a lot of things, we being a UCM student, there are a lot of things I know to how to land on a role. But for specifically for appointment setters, what are your advice to those appointment setters who they are struggling to find their first role where they can actually get started?
yeah. So once again a multitude of things, and if someone's struggling to look at to get their first role, first of all they need to understand what their approach actually is, like really trial and test everything that they possibly can. But the main thing is oftentimes is they're not learning from anybody and how to do it. They're just trying things on their own. kind of taking tidbits from other people. What I
Mm,
would always say is if there is somebody that you know has done what you've done, invest into their help, even if money is short. I invested into UCM. That was literally my first program, like that
yeah,
actually got me into the space. I did
that's
not
right.
have the money to pay JD. That was the reality, but we found a way to make it work. And then from
Yeah.
there, because of going through that program, implementing the advice, learning a bunch of stuff and self-development, that's been the very reason I've been able to, make the strides. So
Mm,
that's what I would say is learn those steps. I think first of all, get very clear on what it is that you want, what aligns with you to help you avoid terrible offers. Because I've been on great
mm,
offers, but I've been on bad ones as well. And the
yeah,
difference is night and day. And that sometimes comes from how you vet offers. Like, are you desperate for a role? Is a
yeah.
huge one. If you're desperate, don't apply for anything. Like, first of all,
Mm,
get yourself in the mindset where that desperation doesn't feed through, right? Focus on building up yourself, and that will enable you to land the roles that in the best possible way. Just show up the best way you can. So
mm,
there's multiple different things that you can do. But I would say definitely focus on that self development to help you attract and land those roles effectively, right? Don't just go in willy nilly and don't work on yourself. That's the worst way you do it.
that's right. I've been speaking with JD, and I was telling him like I've wanted to work for an offer, which is like, but I just want to spend like 3 hours or 4 hours for that offer. And he said, like, I remember the words. He said, "You sell yourself first, and then you talk about the details, and then you negotiate the details. They buy you first, and then you talk about the details. That means, like, if you like an offer, first of all, the business owner needs to buy you first, your personality first, and then you can sit down with them and negotiate things. That being said, there are literally two, three things coming into my mind that are must have, like your social media profiles optimized, right? And you're sharing what you're doing, like your journey, maybe, if you don't have anything else to say, right? I'm seeing a lot of people, business owners are actually seeing them as a priority because they're sharing their journey, even if it's not the great, right? It's not necessary you need to post like I made $10,000 cash collected today. That's not necessary. Even if you are new and you're just posting stuff, you're learning from here and there. That can help you a lot as well. Is that right?
Say so. There's once again, it's just focusing on so many different areas, just being able to holistically be so well developed that attracting and getting the roles is very very simple.
That's
The
right.
first thing is if you don't know what it is that you want and you don't know the strategies to go out there and get them right, and learning from, and you don't have the network of people you can learn from to do that, it's just so hard, and you're just amongst
That's
those
right.
people that comment interested or whatever the comment is to get the job, which is what
Mm,
50 to 100 people do on a post. Which the reality is, realistically, I know that I'm not going to be the best person on that comment list,
mm,
right? I know that, and I'm humble enough to admit that. So it's like, well, how do people actually get roles? And most of it's by referrals, right? By
yeah.
personal connection, because there's trust up front. And
Mm,
so like that is the way that I've been getting roles, and some of the best roles where usually they have a few interviews, a bit of a process, but I've not really been able, I've just done a quick chat rather than an interview, right? It was so
that's
easy.
right.
So like
Absolutely.
that's what you want.
Taylor, I really wanted to ask this question way before, but I want to ask you now. How was your experience working with Jeremy Miner?
Right. I would say with Jeremy, like it's obviously a big company. I was in the stages where they were really building up. So we
Yeah.
helped build a lot of the systems for setters and help us optimize the script, what is we needed to say. And just building up the platform that it is now, NEPQ. So for
Yeah.
me, it was the best thing for my foundations. Like there's
Yeah.
obviously opinions about Jeremy and what he does, but like whatever has happened or whatever the thoughts are of him, like I am very thankful to him, to Matt Ryder,
That's
to a lot of
right.
those guys that have helped me to get to where I am. So like I've got nothing but great words to say about them. It was a great experience because I learned a lot about myself, my own limitations, what was holding me
Yes.
back from performance, but also what were like some of my strengths and leaning into
Mm,
those as well. I think I through that, like learning sales skills, and then coming out the other side, I've learned to be a better human being rather than just a great skilled salesperson. I think that's going to be they call it the new era of selling, but I think
Yeah,
the
that's right.
focus will be more on who you are as a human being rather than what skills you have. I think that's going to be where because obviously there's AI, there's tech,
Mm,
there's more skepticism. You know,
mm.
being the best person we can be should be the number one priority. I think when
Yeah,
it comes to
because now
sales.
it's not like you stay more as an actor on a 25 minutes or 45 minutes call. It's more like who you are in your real life, what exactly you're doing in your real life if you are really putting your personality in the call, because AI is already there, right? And it's actually ruling, and it's going to rule more in coming days. So yeah, being more realistic, being more human, uh, to be honest, with like your other prospects, because they are a human being too. So I think that's way to go, and you can beat any AI or whatever technology comes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
So
I fully agree.
have you actually met Jeremy Miner ever? Even on the Zoom?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been on Zoom calls with him and stuff. We did like group DM trainings and stuff like
Yeah.
that. He is literally how he sounds. Like he's one of those people that's got like dad jokes. Like he's not the funniest person, but he's funny
Yeah.
without trying to be funny, which is what I love about Jeremy.
Yeah, I like him.
So like yeah, genuinely really good person, like overall. Um,
I mean,
and
whatever
yeah,
people
I
say,
haven't
I
actually met
know
him in person though.
he's like a nice person, and man, he's making 60, like his company is $60 million net worth. So whatever we are saying, like that's all BS. A lot of people say that a lot of things about him, but what I respect is like he came this far, and he opened a lot of opportunities for other people as well, right? So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
really amazing. And tell us about your program that you have for your appointment setting students, or
Yeah.
whoever is
So
want to
like
turn into appointment setters.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I like from my side, I don't really do so much of the one-to-one side now. Like I don't have too much capacity for it, but I do have a course basically that goes for a whole A to Z of how to go from being like an average appointment setter to going into towards great, right? It's called the Good to Great Skill Set Mastery course. So it covers all kinds of different things, you know, different communication principles that top performers use, how to have really good DM setting frameworks, outbound triage frameworks, you know, learning and understanding like your own audit skill set developments, how you can keep developing yourself as a setter so that you can perform in the role and then progress. So it's all of these things that will help you to be the best setter you can be. That will then allow you to then, if you want to be a closer, be a closer. If you want to transition into a business owner, do that to a manager, right? It's just enabling you to be the best setter you can be to, for one, get the best roles that you possibly can, but then
Yeah,
also perform in those roles so that you have more opportunities to do
that's
other
right.
things later down the line, right? You know, I don't expect everyone will be a setter for the rest of their lives. Nobody really dreams of that, right? But it's a great springboard if you do it the right way, right? Like you don't want to
That's
skip
right.
steps, but each step you do take, do it at the absolute best of your ability.
Absolutely. I know a lot of setters. There is a guy I'm actually working with right now in the company, and he's been appointment setting from last 11 years. He's an appointment setter from last 11 years now, and that's actually great. And I would say like thank you very much for coming on the call today, and I'd love to have you. And I appreciate your presence as well.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully this does help anybody out there that you know is looking to just be the best they can be at setting. And overall, it's just an opportunity to get better in the long run. So you know, you can always message me if you just type Taylor O'Hare. You know, it's easy to find me, so feel free to send me a message, and then go from there. So yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, guys, whoever is looking for to get in the appointment setting roles, or even if you are an appointment setter and not performing well, Taylor's course is actually way to go. Thank you very much for like thank you. I would say thank you to Taylor who actually came into the call with us today. Appreciate it, and you have a great one.
You mate.